Welcome to this new mod map tour and hopefully how to fix it with me, MrSealyp. Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, we are on Gemeinde RADE 2K19 or just RADE 2K19. This is by DeeBuur. 440.14 megabyte download, fairly large I suppose. It depends how much memory space you've got left. This dropped very late on Saturday evening, which was really peculiar. Anyway, we start here on the map, fairly central. I'm on new farmer mode at the moment, and we start with this main farm only, which does have cows. And I'm now experiencing the weirdest thing ever. How peculiar. I'm going to show you something in a moment, but that may become irrelevant. Because when I came on this last night, the pigs here weren't showing on the map. The sheep there weren't showing on the map, and some of these points weren't working. How odd. But I have recorded something else before this to show you how to fix it, and now it seems to be, well, we'll have a check. That's really very strange. Anyway, okay, well, we'll have a look at that in a moment. We start here at the main farmhouse. We have these green discs that are knocking around all over the place. Don't worry, they can be removed. I will explain that later on in the video. So we've got our main house here for sleeping through the night, should you require it. Our main farmyard, we're going to head into the yard now. There's a lot going on. Slot count is high. On new farmer, farm manager and start from scratch, it's 934 out of 1299 used, which only gives you 365 slots on console to play with. I'm going to speed up time a little bit because it's fairly dim at the moment, so we'll try and get a bit better light. We've got a lot of buildings. Now this map requires, it does say the season's ready. Required mods: you need the machine sheds 30, 40 and 50 metre by DMI 20mm Normandy, and you need to install the crops and machinery storage also by DMI 20mm Normandy. Otherwise they won't show up on the map when you want to use them. We've got a few bits and bobs knocking around the yard. We've got a couple of fairly large bunker silos. Need to get that sun a little bit higher up in the sky. We've got our cow barn tucked over here again with everything shown nice and clearly. You collect your milk from there, you put your water in here, you buy, sell, load or unload from here for your cows. Down the side here we've got footer, I think is like fodder, I think. Inside we've got some other bits that tells you where it all is. It's nice and clear. Weirdly, what's happened now is this may have been fixed. Well, I say it may have been fixed. I may have fixed it inadvertently. But as we come down here, we've got again fodder. We can do it from the inside here, but you've also got your straw for bedding can also be put in here as well, and it shows it nice and clearly where that can be. Let's put the time back to normal. I've got my side panel plugged in, so that's why I'm doing it. It's kind of, I'm not going into the menu to have to do that. I've got a side panel plugged into my PlayStation Pro. So over this side of the yard we've got machinery dotted around in various different buildings. There's some really nice details to this as well, like the earth bank pushed up against the side of the bunker silo, and I really do like the detail. The problem is the slot count is so high, and that's probably because of the detail. We've got a couple of buildings, we've got a load of machinery we start with. We're going to have a look at that in a second. If we open this one here, we've got, I think, a cultivator in there. Your silo is in here. You are not going to get very high sided machinery in here, but this silo is 800,000 litres. It only takes main crop types. It's not a multi-fruit silo or anything like that, but it takes your main crop types. We've got another building over here. Where's the door? Is it the other end? Yes, of course it would be the other end, wouldn't it? That's a good point actually. Light switches. Or are they automatic? I haven't found any. Unless they're outside. Is that the light switch? Doesn't appear to be. There probably are some somewhere. Oh, hang on, what's that? Nope. It's just a hook on the wall. Maybe they're automatic. Yeah. So we've got our kind of forage grass handling equipment inside here with our windrower, our tedder and our round baler. Oh, hang on. Oh, right, there is in this one. There must be in the other one. Is it on the end wall? Can't only be in one barn, surely. We do have a workshop here at the main yard, just round here. Fuel point, just there. We'll open up this one here. We've got our repair point. Yeah, there's a switch on this one. No, they open the door. Oh, that's interesting. We'll just open the door into the fuel tank. We probably don't want to go that way. And our plough's tucked in here. So there's plenty of space. It does say on the Modhub that you want to be using no more than 6 metre equipment because some of the lanes and roads are quite narrow, and they are, to be fair. That's going to frustrate me if I can't find that. It's very odd. Hang on. No, maybe there isn't one in here. Anyway, not to worry. Right, so as far as machinery, what do we start with? I always do the wrong one. Garage. So, we do start with a fair bit. Going all the way back. We've got a little armour track. Some odd stuff as well. This is a Massey Ferguson farm as well, you can probably tell. We've got a drop nose Massey 5610. We've got 7719. We've got an Activa 7347S harvester, farm tech trailer and a Fortrit trailer. Header for the Massey Ferguson. We've got a plough cultivator. We've got the Vegstat Rapid A600S 6 metre seeder. We've got a fertiliser spreader. We've got a manure spreader, slurry spreader. We do start with a mower. We've got windrower tedder. We've got a loading wagon. There's a lot of equipment. Again, explains why the slot count is pretty high. We do start with a lot of stuff. So you could, in essence, run the farm straight off the bat. Now, these are the machine sheds and the crop storage that you have to have installed, because there are a few of these dotted around the map. So if you don't have those installed, these won't show up on the map where they should be. So that's the equipment we start with. Contracts are available to... No. He says. There we go. Contracts are available around the map, which is always nice. Machinery doesn't start. I know some map makers give you machinery with really high miles on it already, and buildings that seem to have been around for 1,000,000 years and cost a fortune overnight. These are pretty standard. What do we need to do now? Oh yeah, crop type. If we go into here, we've got a new crop type on this map, right at the very end there. And it is listed as, if I go to my map at the bottom there, it says Grunroggen. Grunroggen, there's all different ways of saying it. That's green rye, also known as forage rye, also known as Hungarian if I get this right, Hungarian forage cereal rye. So it's forage rye cereal. It's green manure, they call it. It can be used as a cover crop, because if we look into the sell point there, when I go to the end where you can see it, there's nowhere that buys it. It's not something you can harvest and you can sell. It can be used as a cover crop, but what you can also do, when it grows to full maturity, it still stays green. You can use a forage harvester and all crop header, and you can make silage out of it. So that crop is kind of new on this map, which is rather cool. What I'm going to do very quickly, I'm going to show you, there's a couple of ways out of the farm. One we're going to have a look at in a little while, which is that way. We kind of come back in past that in a little while. I say in a little while, it's really weird because I've recorded that other bit first. What's bizarre about this is that mail will have become, well no, it hasn't become relevant. It's one of those weird time shift things, in that what I did already may have fixed the problem now. This was to show you, look, the map is broken, because in essence if you start on this normally, it is, or I found mine was, and I know speaking to Big Daddy who helped me solve this problem, his was too. So potentially what I did previously has fixed that problem, so you may still need to do that. If you're coming onto this map, I mean, look at this, look, kind of old, broken down, sort of looks like there's been a fire, all the timbers have collapsed. It's nice detail. But this way brings us out onto a main road. We're going to head left in a second, and we're going to look at the bits that I'm going to cut to in a moment, because like I say, on this map, when I came on this originally, and this may be what you're looking at on your map when you come onto this pig farm, this silo and that farmhouse weren't showing, nor was this sheep pen, were not showing on my map originally. So I did a fix that I'm going to show you in a second, and came back out, started a new game, and these are back on here now. But I don't understand how that could have worked when I'm starting a new game. That's what's really baffling me. I haven't done an update to the map. There hasn't been an update that I'm aware of. So that's a bit of an odd one. So like I say, if you're putting the map on and you haven't got the pig farm, if you haven't got that other sheep pen, then the fix I'm going to show you is going to work perfectly. Let's pull in here. If yours is showing, then yours may be fixed already. Now this hasn't been working at all, and it still isn't. Okay, fine. What I'm going to do is whiz over here very quickly then, because what I'm going to show you in a minute, I'm going to do exactly this again, but this has just really thrown me because none of this was here. So this could be because of the fix I did. So if you're looking across your map now thinking, hang on, I haven't got any of that, yeah, it's there and it's working. Okay, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to this gate, I'm going to cut to the fix and how to fix it. If yours doesn't need fixing, if yours is working fine, then I'm just going to show you those bits anyway. But I'm going to come back to here, I'm going to cut. Okay, so we are on multiplayer, and this is an absolute faff. This is what can I say? I can totally understand why people will be annoyed and angry at having to do this, and it just seems overly complicated. I'm assuming there's going to be an update that this will get fixed, but this is a fix for the problem. A massive, massive, massive shout out to Big Daddy. Thank you so much for messaging me and let me know. I had to play around with this last night. It dropped fairly late on a Saturday, which is unusual for mods from Giants. And once I realised it was kind of broken, I tried to go around the map and prepare myself for doing a map tour. I thought it's too late, I'm not going to do it, I'll do it in the morning. So getting a message from Big Daddy explaining how to do this. He's got his own channel, go check him out, he's done videos on this too. Yeah, thank you so much. Hopefully this is going to work. So what we'll do, we'll have a look in the map first of all, and if you look here, this is where our main farm is. If you start on a new farmer, that's where your farm's going to be. So we're going to buy that farm in one farm. We're going to set up a second farm on multiplayer, because up here we've got a northern farm. Now this is where the pigs should be, and they're not showing up at all. Over here on the PC version there's also a sheep pen just here as well, so you've got a sheep one there and a sheep one there. Now on the single player version of this on PS4 I cannot get the sheep pen to work. There are no pigs on here at all. The cows are working, but they're not showing up on here on the multiplayer version. This is so bizarre. And over here we've got cow pastures that on the single player version on PS4 I cannot get to work at all. So it's all a little bit peculiar. Now we're going to need farms, so we're going to create a farm. We'll have that green. We're going to create another farm. We'll have that one blue, really doesn't matter. What we'll do is we'll join that farm, and we'll do one at a time. So we'll join this farm first. We've got 1.25 million, that's fine. I say it's fine, hopefully we're going to have enough money. We'll soon see, won't we? Because the farms are not cheap. 1.425, so I haven't even got enough to buy the main farm at the moment. And here's something that's worth pointing out about the map at the moment. Let's talk about that. Field prices are not cheap. There are a lot of smaller ones. There are small ones here. We can pick up one for 68 grand. There's a tiny one over here for about 90, a small one. Field 46 up there, 83. They're not cheap, let's be honest. Here's the scary thing, unfortunately, if you want to use the biogas plant, 1,247,976. I just personally think at this point it's worth pointing out as part of this kind of map tour explanation, fix-it video. This is a... With the high slot count, this is bordering on, I hate to say it, unplayable. This is so frustrating and annoying to have to do all of this. That's why I'm hoping there'll be an update. I can't say for definite there will be, but I think there will be. So what we need to do then is we need to buy a small plot of land. Now I know for a fact this sheep pen here is really cheap, so we're going to buy that. And what we're going to do is we're going to come into this menu. Like I say, so this is annoying. You're going to need the government subsidy mod on. We'll go from the main farm because we don't own this yet. I'm trying to find my way. Right, that's the main road. Follow that along. We should come to the sheep field, which is just... No, it's not. I've gone past it already. Wow. How did I manage that? There we go. Is here. So the sheep pasture I just bought, which I can't get to work in single player at the moment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll stick 10 in. Come all the way back out again. So this is annoying. Speed up time. Once it goes over the next hour, we'll have enough money to buy the main farm. So we'll do that first. Right. So, back into the map. Coming down to the main farm. Okay. Those points weren't showing on there a minute ago. Oh, because I didn't have the farm, did I? Is that why? Okay, so we're going to buy that. Whew. Now we're going to come back out. We're going to go to our second farm, join that farm. I'm going to lose my current permissions on the other one, but that's fine. Okay. Should have stayed on that. Let's come back over here. And let's check out how much this one costs. Ah. That's interesting. Because what we're seeing now is the second farm's automatically showing up the pigs now. So one farm, that's now not showing the cows because that's obviously on the other farm. On the second farm, it's now showing up this one. So I get the feeling that this map is set up primarily for multiplayer. I mean, that it's a multiplayer map. That's what it's been kind of set up to do. Single player seems to be a lot of mucking around. How much is it to buy that? 1.15. Actually, we have got enough to buy it without having to mess around with government subsidy signs. So we'll buy that. Okay. So we've got a second farmhouse, we've got a silo there, and we've also got the pigs are now showing up, which is absolutely brilliant. Weirdly, this one over here is still not showing up. What I am going to do though, over here, I'm going to buy all of these too, so I think we are going to need some more money, aren't we? That's really frustrating. So, we'll go in. Government subsidy signs again. Okay, so, let's come back in. This plot of land I'm going to buy, because I'm hoping, like I said, on the PC version, there's a sheep farm there, or sheep pen there, as well as the one there. Now, these are all cow pastures, not cow barns or like a cow farm, but cow pastures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy those two. Because I want to check something out in single player. I'm also going to buy... I don't have enough money yet. I will have in a minute. I'm going to buy the biogas plant because I just... I get the concept. I don't personally agree with having to buy it, but I understand people the argument of why you need to buy it. I kind of understand that, but the thing about it is, I just think when it costs that much, it's ludicrous. You know, to make that kind of money back on the biogas plant, you've got to just do ridiculous amounts of crops. Right, so in theory now, we have got the southern farm, the northern farm bought. We should have another sheep pasture, maybe. I haven't bought the horses yet. That's not working on single player either for me. And then we've got... Did I not buy that one? Oh yeah. Oh, that's technically not a field then? How weird's that? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to save the game. And we're going to come back out. Go back into single player and see what happens. Okay, so I'm back in single player. Another thing worth pointing out at this point is that because the farms have now merged, the multiplayer, the two farms I had with the money they had in both of those accounts has now merged. I'm sitting on a bank balance of 6,404,000. If I want to start on a normal kind of amount, I need to get rid of a load of that. So leasing equipment and giving it back is a good way of getting rid of chunks of money to get back down to where you want to be. The other good thing about this, a good thing about this is it doesn't matter whether you start on a new farmer, farm manager, or start from scratch. You start with all the machinery regardless. So it doesn't matter going into multiplayer and doing this and coming back out again. You've still got everything. Now we check the map and we see what we own. So, right. So, according to this, the pigs are now there. According to this, the second sheep enclosure is there also. The cow pastures over here are still there. We're going to get onto those and look at those in a second. I don't think any other ones have popped up. So what I'm going to do very quickly, actually, you know what we'll do? We'll go from where I was. That's probably the best bet. Let's go from where I was. So let's come over to here. Hopefully this works. Next thing to do actually, before I carry on from this point, which is where I kind of hopefully left off if I've got my editing right, let's get rid of all those government subsidy signs first. Right then, so with the government subsidy mods gone, let's open the gate, come in, press L3, I'm still getting nothing. That is so annoying. I own all this. It's still broken. I just don't get it. It's not giving the option to buy, sell, load or unload. Checking everywhere the trigger might be. I am getting nothing. Okay, so from here, the northern farm, if we cut across here, this is the pig farm, which wasn't showing up initially, but after doing all the multiplayer nonsense, should now work. Like I say, as I said before, everything is nicely labelled. We've got access to the silo. That's, you know, I think combined 800,000 litres. And let's say 800,000 litres each. Potentially. Actually, let's have a check. Has that changed since the last one? Yeah. It's even more than that. 1,632,313 litres. So, the first one at the main farm, the initial farm, was 800,000, as is this one. There may also be another one somewhere then. This map is so confusing. Right. So, let's open this up. So, is this going to work? Yes, so the pig pens now we have got, we can buy pigs. Fantastic. And as you can see, with everywhere else, everything is nicely labelled. I do like that. I can honestly say that I can see why a lot of people aren't going to like that. Because if you're playing this normally, do you really want to see those hovering around in the air everywhere you go? Normally you have the hazard things. I wonder, hang on, let me just check something else. Let's go into the settings. Interactive zone markers, would it be that? Brilliant. Okay, so if you turn off your interactive zone markers, you can get rid of those green logos. But if you're starting off on the map and you're not too sure where things are, you can have those on. And it is actually, to be fair, with them on, if you're starting off on this map, it makes things incredibly clear where things are. So you know where you're going to be putting your straw and you know where the bedding's going to be. Footer is fodder as far as I understand. And your water points and all those are really clearly marked. So the pigs are working. Brilliant. So over here at the pigs, you know, this is the second farm we've got a ton of space, we've got a ton of storage space, we've got barns and shelters, and you know, there's loads and loads of room. The frustrating thing is the cost and what you have to go through to get to this point to get it to work. Like I say, I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping, really hoping, there'll be an update and all of this will get fixed. Because if you do want to just come on and play single player, you really do not want to have to be doing all this every single time. That is really, it is really frustrating. But it does mean though we have a second house though, doesn't it? We do. So we've got a second sleep through the night point over here too. I won't be tired at the moment, but there is one there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our tractor. We know the pigs are working. I'm not quite sure why this sheep pen's not working. That's really quite annoying. I just don't get it. The pig one is working now, and I've bought the land here. Why is this one not working? Anywho, right, let's close that. I mean, I would imagine by now a lot of people would have already decided what's a deal breaker and what's not, and I can fully understand why. So what we're going to do from here, we're going to go this way up to the store, if I can remember the route. I do like the detail. It explains the very high slot count. I find the trees like this of a little bit like RDC. They can be a little bit oppressive, a bit kind of over the top in the way sometimes. I do like that. That's quite a cool little touch. Look at that. I don't know if I want to be playing noughts and crosses in chalk on the floor on the entrance to a machine store, but you know, it's there. So we've got a class store. Don't get that very often either. So our buy point is just here. If we come round the side here, we've got our repair, customise and sell point just there. If you need to reset a vehicle, which you may well need to do at some point, that resets around here into this area here. So your reset point is here at the store. I think the fuel pumps work. I'm just looking to see if they show up on the map. The store does, but then the store icon could be covering the fuel icon. The fact they're here, I would think they do. That is a little bit of an assumption on my part, I'll be totally honest with you. And what I am going to do now then is whiz round and we'll check out the other sheep pen. Because hopefully if that one's working, it's not a complete loss. Not a complete loss, but you know what I mean. Right, so I'm going to come back up here. There's a couple of ways around we can do this. One is not crashing into things, but you know, it happens. So we'll take a right here. We're actually coming back around towards another entrance to our main farm, if you want to call it that. So there's a little turning just on the left there. It takes us along into the main farm. We take this right here. I'm going the right way. Yes, I think I am. Yep. Follow this up. So we've got, again, another little small farm. Now this is the sheep farm. I'm going to go past all those bits. That's where all the troughs are, the feeding troughs, hay, water, where you put your water in, are all back there. But your load and unload point for your sheep is here. So fingers crossed this one works. In fact, it's showing up now. Is a good sign. Yes. Whew, one of them works anyway. So having to go through all of that multiplayer paraphernalia does mean we do have access to sheep farm here. I mean, admittedly, you can buy plots all over the place if you want to and just place your own sheep farms. That's going to be an easier way of doing it. So this sheep farm here, and we'll have a look at the main map. I'll show you where we are now. Let's go across. So we went from here. We had a look around the pig farm and the other house, which is there. We came along this road, and the roads are quite hard to see, and into the machine shop. We then came back out and turned along this road here, then up this road here. That's where all the rest of the stuff is, but we're up here now at the moment, just there. So what we're going to do now is head back through the town. I'm going to see you in a moment. We're going to head along this main road, and we're going to come to these sell points here, and then we'll head out and do some other bits and bobs. There's a lot of driving on this map, so some of the bits I will kind of skip because we do need to, I do want to get to them because I've taken the time to show you how to kind of fix it as well. I don't want to take forever doing that. So what we'll do, we'll jump in the old tractor, and then what I'll do, I'll whiz round and I'll see you there at the next point. I'll show you where we are on the map so you'll know where we are. On some of the more open field bits I'm going to show you a bit more of the driving so you get a feel for the terrain, but for the moment I'll see you there. Okay, I've stopped in the road here and there's a reason why I've stopped in the road. I've got a sell point to the left we're going to have a look at, and we've got sell points to the right. Let's have a look on the map. So we've got the Bale Bollenburg Hans is just to the left, but to the right a little bit further over we've got Wasserhaus, and we've got the Hage and Handel Allerlei, sorry, are just here. So Hage there is Handel Allerlei is there. Now there's a little road you can just about see there which can take you around the back here into these sell points. It's very tight, it's very narrow. You can go around the main road, but if I look down to the right there it is. You can just see a little green just off to the side there. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you that now. We'll do it on foot. It saves me driving back up there in a minute. This is your wool. This does wool, this does eggs, and this does milk. Sell point. Now this is tight. This is not easy to get into, especially up that road. Turning at this bit here is quite difficult, so you might want to come in from the other end to get to this, but we'll show you in from the other end in a minute. There is another little entrance way in through there, but it's even narrower, I think. Or did I come through someone's garden last time? I'm trying to think. And then opposite, again fairly tight, there's not a huge amount of space. I'm blocking the road at the moment. If we turn in here through this gateway, there we go, we've got a bale sell point just around the sides here. The frustrating thing, and this is, I really like this map. I like the detail, I like the layout, I really, really like it. My only problem is the cons to this map. Or the challenges. Should we put it that way? The challenges of this map. Challenges, I always say cons, but they are pros and cons. At the end of the day, the things for and against why you may or may not play on it. The challenges to playing this map, you've got to ask yourself, do the challenges outweigh the benefits, I suppose, is the other way of putting it. If we carry on this road here, just turn right and we should come to the turning any moment, which is just here. So we do have a water point here, not here, here. Wasserhaus, water house is just there. Pumping house, pumping station. Now we've got this here. I haven't at the moment worked out what that's for. I think it's probably liquid fertilizer. I think it's not water, but there is stuff on the floor potentially. If we come further up here, the Hage is round the back. Hage. But we've got these. Now these are buying points. These are buying points for, they're basically multi-filling stations for your seed, your fertiliser, those kind of things. We've got 3 of them. I got seed to fill up in one, lime to fill up in another. It might be a bit of fiddling around. I haven't checked every single crop type, every single thing to see what will fill up where with the trailer, but they are buying points, and your sell point is tucked around the back here. So this is your sell point tucked around the back there. So we are currently at this point. Like I say, we came in from the little side turn in there. This is the other part of it, and you can go right the way through to that sell point if you want to. We're going to come out of here. We're going to come up this main road, down this track, past the forest, and we're going to get down to these cow pastures because I do want to check them out and see if we can get that to work. Now once you get out from in the sort of village town I guess, it opens out a lot. The fields are more open, it's more flowing, it's not gentle rolling hills. There's still a lot of trees. Again, another reason why the slot counts will be so high. There are a lot of trees on this map lining the roads and things like that, and it looks fantastic. But like I say, on console I guess it's the one thing that really does hamper it. you can still play on it, and at the end of the day you do start with a lot of starting machinery. The machinery you start with is enough to run the farm without having to worry. You know, you've got pretty much everything you need to get going. You may want to change a few things up if you want to run a class farm, if you want to run a John Deere farm. There's no way this slot count's going to allow for that. Once you start getting to 30-40 slot counts on machinery, individual tractors and harvesters and stuff, you're going to eat into that available slot limit so quickly, which is a real... It's a shame, because like I say, I really like this map. I think it's a brilliant map. So our forest off to the left. We're going to come to one here, we'll check it out. Now we got, again, this is kind of set up for multiplayer, but I think also can be working very well if you're running seasons, if this works, of course. Let's open this up. Please work. Oh no, come on. Nope, still not working. Even though I bought the land, even though we did the the multiplayer thing to open up the other one. Now you got these pastures. And I was really hoping, because with seasons, if you can buy these as a separate pasture, with seasons on, if you don't put grass in their trough, the cows will eat, or animals will eat the grass in their pasture. And what you can then do is, when the grass has been eaten, you could potentially put those animals into a trailer, take them to another pasture, let them graze in that one while this one recovers and the grass regrows, which is brilliant. However, can't seem to get them to work. I'm pressing the trigger, not getting anything coming up for load, unload, buy or sell. I'm going to go, we'll drive around and check out another one just in case. I don't know, I keep turning the engine off, I should leave it running. But I do like the landscape. I'm getting a feel for the fact there are custom textures and custom crops, because they do look, unless I'm imagining things, they do seem a little bit different to the base game. I have also noticed when I was going around looking at this last night, there seemed to be like logs and stuff strewn around just by the side of tracks and things like that, which you have to watch out for, because they are loose, they're not fixed, so you can kind of get them caught up under your wheels. And well, I did anyway. It's not to say you will, but... Alright, let's try this one. I'm not holding out much hope, but you never know. No, not getting anything. I did buy all of these. I mean, technically I've bought them, so I own the pasture, so I've got access to all the grass, and I guess I could just put another cow pasture on here, but that's not going to allow you access to the entire pasture, which is that's really frustrating. Again, possibly in an update. Possibly in an update. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to go from here. I'm going to cut across country, following the edges of the fields, obviously. We're going to go and check out the biogas plant. Then we're going to head down to this corner here. We've got a load of sell points and buy points just down here. And then we're going to head up and we're going to look at the horses, and we're going to go and check out the sawmill. Sawmill's an interesting one as well. We're going to have to look at that. So, moving on. Righty-ho. We are now driving into the biogas plant. RADE Energy. It's RADE? I'm saying RADE, I think it's RADE. All the way through here, we've got our digestate tank just over to the left there. Again, fantastic details. I like the concrete slabs on the ground where you can see it's got boggy and wet, and they've had to put them down so people don't get stuck, and you know, it gives that a real nice immersive feel, and I like that. Come round to the side here, and we've got our digester just there. There's your kind of sell point, if you want to call it that. Two big old bunker silos, which are drive-through, which is quite handy. What the capacities of those are, I've no idea, but I assume they're going to be big. I like the way it kind of just, it's got kind of custom fit to the landscape. It blends in nicely. It works, you know, it's nice. I like it. So we're going to back out, we're going to go up the road, so we're going to be heading kind of north-west-ish, because it goes at an angle. Northwest, then we're going to take the next left. We're going to head out to those sell points and buy points. It's a little bit of a drive. So we're going to take a left here. Now, as I already showed on the map, there's a strip that runs up this left-hand side of the map of forest that you can't buy. And I couldn't work out why you couldn't buy it. I know now why you can't buy it. As we come along here, it's a ridgeline. A forest tree-covered ridgeline that runs across the side of the map. Again, nice feature. And what's really cool about this as well is there's a tunnel that runs underneath it. That's why the road seems to disappear on the map. I just thought it's dense tree cover, it kind of looks like that on the rest of the map as you look around. But yeah, we've got a tunnel that takes us off to this bottom corner. And what's really interesting, it kind of separates out this section. You've got a couple of fields the other side of this as well. I don't know, it's another one of those nice little touches that, you know, love it or hate it, I don't know. But I think it's cool, I like it. So as we come out this side, we've got a buy point for Slurry as far as I can figure, which is just here. Don't think it's a sell point, it's not showing as orange, it's showing as white, which is a buy point. Then we've got our livestock. Oh no, it could be for the lime, couldn't it? Is it line point there? It's so hard to tell because when you have these densely packed, there's a white one, definitely a white one there. I think it's for Slurry. Maybe. And then we've got, I think, a line point there. It's so hard to tell on this map. Then we've got our sell point here for bales. And then we've got our livestock market just here. So we've got our pig enclosure, large sheep pasture. Yeah, it's not showing any of those other ones up either. It's not showing the small sheep pasture either. But it is showing the cows at the main farm, it's showing the pig enclosure, and it's showing the large sheep pasture. So, that's your livestock market. We go a little bit further on. We can go out onto the road from here as well. What? Now these once again, they're right on top of each other, and it gets a little bit confusing, plus it's really tight in here. I'm going to do this on foot to show you, and I'll show you on the map what I mean. So we've got the Nolenkala and Getreide AG. Now, because one's on top of the other, I was looking at Nolenkala as being the top one and Getreide AG being the bottom one. So if we look in the menu here, we can go to Getreide AG, and that's a main sell point that buys absolutely everything. You can sell everything. Nolenkala is for your root crops, so that's your potatoes and sugar beets. So I went across here thinking, okay, well this is the top one, so this is the sugar beet sell point, but it's not. This is the main sell point. This is Getreide AG, so I don't know if those two, I don't know, it's a small thing, but it can be a little bit confusing. So that's your sell point, Getreide AG, but round the back here, again, quite difficult to get to, quite narrow. Round the back here, we've got a pile, one for potatoes and one for sugar beet. So this is actually the potato and sugar beet sell point tucked around the back here. So, you know, maybe I'm just being a little bit finicky, I don't know, but it kind of gives the impression that they're the other way around, I guess. I don't know, that's just me. Anyway, so, actually what we will do, we're going to go from here, back the way we just came, back up this main road, and we're going to head to the horses, and then we're going to go to the sawmill, and that should be everything, I think. So I'm going to go and jump in the tractor, head up there, and I'll see you at the horses in a minute. Now, I know at this point I'm going to come across as a bit of a negative Nelly. Unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes. Now, when I tried this on single player last night, I could not get the horses to work, the same as I couldn't get the other sheep pen to work. I'm hoping with the multiplayer fix this is now going to work. It's not. Oh, seriously, come on. Nope. Anyway, this is where the horses are supposed to be, with a nice big stabling area, training area just off to the side here. Lights for inside. Can we move this stuff or not? Oh no, that's fixed. Yeah, really, really nice. Unfortunately, I can't buy or sell any horses. Or load or unload if I bring them here. So, I'm going to open up the help menu. I've got my side panel plugged in before anyone asks, before anyone starts saying, hang on a minute, what's going on? That's how I get some of these. I can close the gate, but it's not giving me an animal dialogue box. And to be fair, when we were round at the livestock market just now, it didn't say anything about the horse pasture being an option for buying directly. So, I don't know why it's not working. But anyway, this is where it's supposed to be. Again, update, maybe? Who knows? Right. Off to the sawmill. And the sawmill, again, it's not without its issues. Oh, that's not coming across well, is it? That's the, yeah. I mean, what can I say? It is incredibly frustrating. I will say this again. I really like this map. I like the layout. I like the design. I like the detail. I like, you know, it's just so frustrating that things aren't working. We need to take a left here before we get to field 40. And this road here will take us right the way out to the sawmill. Now, normally on any map, the sawmill will give you a price for wood chips, but you never get a price for lumber. It never says what the price is for lumber. This is no exception. Although, again, before I did the multiplayer fix thing, I couldn't actually find the sell point. I mean, it was showing where I thought it was going to be, and what we'll do is we'll try that thing where it puts the green column into the air, so it should show us where it actually is, but I couldn't find one for the lumber, which again, a little bit frustrating. This is the sawmill, tucked around the back here. As we drive round, there's no hazard marked area, and bear in mind most of the stuff on this map is really nicely laid out and really nicely labelled with the little green discs saying where everything is. Here, there's nothing. Now, the actual symbol in the bottom corner of the map is showing as being here, but these are all wood chip piles. So unless the sell point is just here for wood chip and lumber, but there's nothing, there's no green disc, there's nothing marked on the floor. So what I'm going to do is come into the menu. So what we'll do is tag place. There we go. So that column there is saying that the sell point is there. So I'm assuming that is for wood chips and lumber, because it's not, you know, don't quote me on that. You may have checked it out already. You may have found it's actually not. This map at the moment seems to be full of frustrations that I'm a little bit kind of love it, hate it. This is a real kind of, it's a strange one because it's a bit of a Marmite map in that, you know, I kind of love it and it's frustrating me at the same time. There are things about it that are absolutely brilliant, and other bits that I'm finding quite annoying. Hang on a minute, what's over there? Is there a disc? Okay, this is too weird. Just seen that completely by chance. Is that the sell point disc for lumber? That is the one that normally comes up, isn't it? Why is that not over there? Well, as far as I can see, as far as I can tell from the map, I've covered all the sell points. I've covered as much as I can, and on that rather surprising find, I think we're going to end. I hope you found this useful and informative. I mean, it's certainly been informative for me in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, within reason. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. whatever you should choose to do. As always, thanks for watching.